Peace and greetings, family. This is the Original Titan. My name is Michelle, and in this particular podcast, we're doing an introduction to the laws of time. For those who just don't know what it's all about, we're going to try to bring some clarity at the very base level of the fundamentals. What we want to do at this time is go over the journey of the archetypes. Now, the journey of the archetypes is very important because these are the 20 solar seals. We all have one. We were all born under one of these archetypes. And not only that, but it's our signature, our galactic signature of what we're supposed to be doing on the planet. And each one has an affirmation, but we're not going to go over those right now. What we're going to do is follow the journey, and as the classes continue, we'll begin to put the meat on the bones as far as the powers, the actions, the essences. The patterns always go red, white, blue, and yellow, and that's not going to change for the journey of the archetypes. We start off with the red dragon, the white wind, the blue knight, and the yellow seed. Since we already said red, white, blue, and yellow, we're going to start back to red. The red serpent, the white world bridger, and the blue hand, and lastly, the star, the yellow star. We start all over again. Red moon, white dog, blue monkey, yellow human, red Skywalker, white wizard, blue eagle, yellow warrior, red earth, white mirror, blue storm, and yellow sun. That's the journey of the archetypes in that order exactly. Let's go to the destiny cross. Everyone gets a destiny cross or destiny oracle. What goes on in the middle is our solar seal. To the right is the analog cam, which is our planetary partner, giving us the support that we need. The guide is the fifth force outcome. To the left is the antipode, which brings us challenge so that we can know where our weaknesses are and strengthen it. Then we have at the bottom the occult cam, which is our hidden power. We'll speak more on the destiny oracle as we continue on. For now, let's go to the tones. There are only 13 tones of creation, and it's in the form of Morse code, like .1. That's magnetic. .2 is the lunar tone. 3 dots is the electric tone. 4 dots is the self-existing tone. Now we're not going to do any more dots. We're going to go to a straight line, and that's going to equal 5. The number 5 is called the overtone tone. Then we have a dot and a line, which makes that 6. That's the rhythmic tone. 7, resonant tone. 8, galactic tone. 9, solar tone. And then we have 2 lines now. The planetary tone. 2 lines plus 1 dot makes the spectral tone. Second one is the crystal tone. And last but never least is the cosmic tone. Become familiar with the names and the symbology. These are the basic 13 tones of creation. Now, the law of time consists of colors and number patterns that follow consistently, no matter which part of the synchronotron we're studying. But what is a synchronotron? We've heard that word possibly, but just didn't know what it meant. So let's break it down. Syn equals together. Chrono means time. Put those together, it means together in time. That's the synchronotron. Today, we're looking at CAN 225, the red existing serpent, and the yellow resonant seed year. We're in the blue heptad right now, in the self-existing moon. This is the 18th plasma of Kali. We're in the white magnetic wizard wave spell currently, which is in the green castle of enchantment. in the red galactic season of the serpent. So notice the colors, the numbers, the cycles. During this introduction, we will cover the basics of the Synchronotron because they're cycles within cycles that shows us how we are intrinsically linked with the Earth, the Sun, the planets, our galaxy, and the cosmos. This is how our 13-moon 28-day calendar looks. And as we can see, we have 13 moons. And we see all of the numbers and all of the names that we just listed in the 13 tones of creation. However, we also see a pattern: red, white, blue, yellow. We see it on every one of these even moons that goes only to 28 days or 28 plasmas. These weeks or heptads are what we call our 7-day cycles. You might wonder, what is a heptad? Why are we saying heptad instead of weeks? Well, we're not weak. Whoever came up with weak, probably the church. But hept or sept is a word forming element that means 7. Okay? So hepta, or septa, both in different languages mean 7. Now we have what we call harmonics, 4-day cycles. What do we mean by that? Notice the 7 radioplasmas at the top of the picture. We have Dali, Celi, Gamma, Kali, Alpha, Limi, Cilio. They're only 7, but we can see the red, white, blue, yellow pattern. Of course, this one starts off with Dali and it's yellow, but it's still going to follow the pattern. After yellow comes red, then white, blue, yellow, red, white, blue. Every 4 days, it's going to be a cycle: red, white, blue, yellow. That's 4. Let's look at Dali, for instance. When we look at it vertically, it's always going to be the numbers 1, 8, 15, and 22. No matter what moon that we're in, they will only represent those numbers. Dali will never represent 28 or 25 or 19 or 11. No, only 1, 8, 15, and 22. The same with the others as we look at those numbers vertically. But let's see what the red means. What does red mean? It means knowledge, initiate, view. White represents humility, refines, and meditation. When we get to blue, that means patience, transforms, conduct. Yellow is the power, ripens, and fruit. Next, we come to the chromatics, which are 5-day cycles. Now, we're not just simply going Dali, Celi, Gamma, Kali like we did in the harmonics. Now, what we're doing is looking at the color that it starts with. In 5 days, it'll be the same color. When we look at the yellow chromatics, we see the yellow sun. It goes all the way down and it ends at the yellow seed. The same with the red chromatic, the red serpent, all the way to the red moon. The white chromatic, the white dog, all the way down to the white wizard. Last but not least, the sky clan or blue chromatic goes from the blue eagle all the way down to the blue storm. And if we can notice that fire clan, blood clan, truth clan, and sky clan, all of them have specific duties that they do. And if you don't want to wait to see how this comes about as the classes unfold, you can always go to the playlist on my YouTube channel at the Original Titan and find the clan families. You'll be able to go into each one of these clans and get an idea on what it is that they deal with, how they operate, and how they conduct their business. Okay. Now, when we look horizontally, let's start from the sun up here and go across. This is what we're going to call, and we see that at the very end, we see receive, right? And transmit, transduce, receive, transmit. So the only earth family, because these are the earth families as we go horizontal. When we see the sun, yellow, then red, then white, then blue, that's the polar family. Now, each earth family perform different functions in the Synchronotron. We're going to talk about that as we continue on. The next horizontal row, starting with the red dragon, is the cardinal earth family. Now, these are different from the fire clan, blood clan, true clan, and sky clan, as we can see. Even though it's still in the same pattern of red, white, blue, and yellow, we see a myriad of different archetypes that make up these clans. For instance, the polar earth family does not have the same archetypes as the fire clan. So that means that there are specific duties that's going on in time. And we're going to see how that operates. The core family is next. They transduce. The signal family receives. And the gateway family that transmits. Now, we may wonder, why do we need to know all of this stuff? I mean, what is the Synchronotron really supposed to help us with? Well, it's all about synchronicity and recognizing synchronicity and moving in synchronicity. Now, synchronicity refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence that's going to synchronize events, people, places into a more meaningful order. So it's just not thrown down at us and we can't put it into perspective, or we can't even know what we're looking at. We don't understand, we don't comprehend. It's synchronized specifically for our dimension so that we can know. We're going to experience synchronicity when an outer event corresponds to our inner thoughts, our perceptions, our feelings. That's synchronicity. So, in other words, synchronicity is happening all the time. We don't really think about it when it's something that corresponds to our inner thoughts. So we figured it should go that way. Yes, I went to work. I went the same way I used to go. And I knew what would happen and, everything like that. And it was synchronicity. But we don't look at that as synchronicity. What we really look at as synchronicity is when something come on time that we've been waiting for, and it's like, boom, and we like, whoa. Either I got that idea, it's coming to me, or we see it outside of ourselves, or it's a feeling that we get. So synchronicity can come in different ways, but it's still something that we're identifying with. Now, since we have all of the Earth families here, we might as well just quickly go over what each family does. Let's just say that the polar family are over the 65-day cycle, seasons, and spectrums. We're not talking about winter, spring, summer, and fall on Earth. But what we're talking about here is galactic season, the season of the sun, season of the red serpent, the season of the white dog, the season of the blue eagle. And of course, when we know their powers, actions, and essences, we can really take advantage of that. Now, each one of these 4 archetypes has the 65 days in the calendar to do their thing, to present us with their gifts. 65 times 4 will make 260 days. Now let's go to the cardinal family. The cardinal family are the genesis of time. They're the beginning of time. As soon as we know what year we're in, when the year changes to that brand new year, then the cardinal family begins that year. What about the core family? Core family is going to be the very last day that we have right before we go into the day out of time. It's always going to be the signal family that represents the days out of time, which is July 25th. Last but not least, the gateway family. They represent the years. This takes us to the time cells. We see 5 sets of colors. When we take these archetypes and clump them all with their own colors, we see 5 sets of 4, which makes 20 archetypes. We see the red initiating, white is the refining, the blue transforms, yellow ripens. The first time cell is in the journey of the archetype order, because we went red, white, blue, yellow. The first 4 archetypes on the hollow mind perceiver opens up. They're the first 4 gates of light. When we store, and notice how the archetypal journey continues on, red, white, blue, and yellow, They are storing, they are remembering. Time cell 3 is about processing information, formulating information, making a plan. Time cell 4 is output, it expresses. And then the time cell matrix is self-regulating. And therefore, I came up with the acronym so we can remember ISPOM. Input, S for store, P for process, O for output, and M for matrix. ISPOM. You don't have to remember the archetype. Oh, which one was in output? Oh my God, which one? No, just when you learn the journey, you're going to just follow the journey. Just count your way through. It's only 20. So it's not like you counting all the way to 100 or 200 or 5,000. No, you just counting up to 20. So follow the archetype journey. You know, it's only 4 in each time cell. And that's how you're going to be able to remember and become more familiar with the archetype journey. Then we come to the 20-day cycles, which we call ventals and solar cells. What is this all about? Well, we earlier said that each archetype in the gateway family is over the years. And here they are. And at the top of them, we see those years, all 20 solar cells representing their years. Now, if I wanted to do a ritual cleanse, for instance, and during this harmonic run, I decide, well, I'm going to do a run. Where should I start? You cannot start in the moon if we're not in the year moon. You must start in the year that we're in, which is the yellow seed. Therefore, you're going to start off, you're going to count the yellow seed and run all the way through. And when you get to the end of your ritual cleanse, it's going to be on the blue night. That's important to know, and it can be very beneficial for those who like to take control over their own destinies. Then we come to the wave spells, and the wave spells are 13-day cycles. As we can see, we're talking fractal time here. See, for each of these units, which is 13 up here, we can, for instance, say one unit can be 28 days, and each one of these units, all the way up to 13, can be 28 days. Or we can say we want each one of these to be a year, or we can make it just a week. We can make it whatever we want to make it. We can put millions of years of time in each one. You could do that. But what is fractal time? Fractal time is a concept that suggests time is not linear, but instead consists of repeating patterns and cycles that's reflecting the interconnectedness of past, present, and future events. So when you start to work with time spells, it means that you can go to the future. You can go back to the past. You can write precepts for what you want to be done in the future. If you see something coming along and you don't like what you see, a pattern that you see happening in your life, you can write a precept and go to the future and make it not happen. You can do those things. Then when we take one wave spell and add 3 more to them, that becomes a 52-day cycle, which we call a castle. Notice that we see the red, white, blue, and yellow. The pattern does not change. But where did that green come from? Is that just something architectural or something to make the picture look pretty? No, it's not. It's because anytime we include green, it means that we're talking about the castles. So we have 5 castles. Why do we have 5 castles when we've only been talking about red, white, blue, and yellow? It is because 52 castles times 5 equals 260. And we need 260 because that's how many is on the Zonkin calendar when we add up everything. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes. But let's go over the castles. We got the red castle of turning, the white castle of crossing, the blue castle of burning, the yellow castle of giving, and then the green castle of transcendence. Now, we've talked about the Zonkin calendar in the 260. Let's look to see now. As we go across horizontally, we see each of the tones of creation, 1 through 13, except we don't see them in succinct order like that. We'll go through it at another time. Right now, we're just becoming familiar with these calendars. Then we see vertically that it goes from the red dragon all the way down to the yellow sun. So that's 13 times 20, which makes 260. That correlates and will coincide with the castles being 260, 52 times 5. It all starts to become synchronistic once we get into these cycles within cycles. Now, we spoke a little bit about the galactic seasons and the spectrums and how this was different from the winter, spring, summer, and fall of Earth seasons. Here, we're talking about the galactic seasons. And right now, we are in the season of the serpent, as I mentioned earlier, and that's going to represent life force, survive, instinct. Right now, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have come to look at the basic fundamentals of the laws of time and the calendars that we deal with and the archetypes. If you want to know more, just continue on this channel as we put meat on the bones of the Synchronotron. Peace to the gods.